Today, I'm gonna tango with the mangoes. Hi everybody, I'm Rockin' Robin, and today I'm just gonna give you some tips on how to select a nice ripe mango, how to cut it up, more importantly, and give you some ideas of some recipes that you can use them in. So, I'll show you how to do it right after this. Let's talk about how to pick out a nice ripe mango. Now the key thing is, especially if you want to eat it today, is you want to pick one out that has some give to it. So you would want to squeeze it like you do an avocado. Don't squish it up to death, but just give it a nice little press. And if it gives, then you know that it's nice and juicy and ripe. Now, how sweet it is, who knows? You never know for sure. But I like to go with those nice, sweet sugar spots. I do that with all my other fruits that I can, like, you know, nectarines, peaches, things like that. When they've got those sugar spots, it's usually pretty sweet. Now, if you don't want to eat your mango today, let's say you need it on the weekend in a couple of days, just buy one that's more firm, set it on your counter, and it will continue to ripen until you need it. Now, once they are ripe and they're ready to go, like these are ready to be eaten today, then you want to save them in the refrigerator to slow down that continual ripening process. Now let's get into cutting up our mango. I want to show you what a seed looks like. I have one right here, and I want to show you the shape of it because the shape of it will sort of determine how you're going to cut into this. All right, so here's our seed. You can see how it's shaped somewhat flat and oval, okay? Now if you look at a mango, you can see the shape. It sort of is wider this way than it is this way. So if you were to take this seed and figure out how it goes into the mango, I think you can see that it goes in this position. It's not going to go in this position because see, it's wider here. All right, so that's going to determine how we cut it. So we're going to be cutting this half off and this half off, and those are called the cheeks. So here we go. Now, the first thing I like to do is slice off the bottom. Hopefully you can see this right here. I'm going to cut this off just a little bit so that it can stand up and be straight and be more stable. Now this is, let me repeat, this is one way to cut a mango. It's not necessarily my favorite. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna look for the center of the mango on top. In fact, I could even put a little score in there just to kind of give you a guideline. And then I'm gonna go about a ½ an inch to the left of it, and I'm gonna slice down and slice off that cheek. Look at that. Now I'm relatively close to the seed, so then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to cut the other half. Now if I hit the seed like I just did, I'm going to pull my knife out a little bit to go around it. So you can see here that I sort of made a little bit of a, you know, an indentation, a curve, if you will. Okay, so there's our seed there. And then we're going to cut the ends off by doing the same thing. Only here I'm going to have to really say hit the seed right away, and then I'm just going to follow that seed right around it. So it's a big curve that I'm cutting. Do the same thing with the other side. A lot of people, they'll take their cheek, their part here, and make cubes out of it. So I don't like the idea of holding it in my hand because if I slip, that knife's going to go through and cut me. So I like to leave it down on the cutting board, and that's what I recommend that you do. So I'm just going to slice in here, and I'm going to go right to the skin. I'm not going to go through it if I can help it. And just score it however big. You can make these big slices or thin slices. And then I'm going to go the other way to make cubes. Now once you have all your cubes sliced, then you can invert it. You can push it inside out and it looks beautiful, right? I mean, to me that almost seems like you could put that on a fruit plate and you know, maybe put toothpicks or a spoon, you can scoop it out. Then you can take a knife, and this is the part that I don't like so much because you're dealing with a curve and it's kind of difficult to get all of the mango out, but basically you take your knife and you follow along carefully and you cut out the cubes like you can see that I'm doing here. You could take a spoon and do the same thing. I like to peel my mangoes first, and the reason that I do, I'm going to cut off that bottom piece again like we did it the other way, but the reason I like to peel it first is I like to just get I like to leave as much fruit behind, for one thing, and I just like to get it out of the way. To me it just seems easier to go ahead and just peel the skin off. A potato peeler doesn't seem to work with the mango, especially if it's really ripe. It just kind of tears it up. So the knife, a paring knife, or like what I have here, I'm actually using a steak knife, but it works the best. Now once you're done with that, you stand it back up, you orient it so that you know where the seed is. I showed you how to do that. And you just slice off your cheeks, all right? So now when I get to the cheeks, then what I do is then I flip them over on the flat side so that they're stable, and then you can go ahead and make your cuts. So I can dice it up just like the other way and make the chunks as big as I want. This is how I do it all the time. But again, be careful, mango's much more slippery. Now if we're dealing with the seed, you know there's still some nice fruit left on here, which I don't like to waste. So I'll take my knife, my paring knife, and I'm just going to trim that off. I mean, you can eat that yourself and just see how wonderfully sweet the mango is. So here's our mangoes, diced and sliced into spears. Guys, there's lots of things you can do with this. With mangoes, you could make salsa, of course. You could make kebabs with it. You could even grill these little spears straight up on your barbecue or grill pan. Just make sure you put some olive oil down first so it doesn't stick. You could make smoothies out of these. I mean, they make fantastic smoothies. You could even serve it up for dessert with some ice cream or yogurt, depending on your like. And, you know, just the ideas are endless. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go out and tango with your mangoes, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and because I'm coming out with new videos every week, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I like to tango with my mango. See ya.